Well, everyone, Football Manager 2040 is officially released. I am starting, rather, we are starting, us as a community, as a group, are going to start our first YouTube save. We are following a well known path, a journeyman career, where we'll start at the very lowest level and work our way up to the top, hopefully one day winning the Champions League with a team somewhere in a league. It's not a one club save. We're not taking this one tiny club all the way through to the Champions League themselves. They are just a stepping stone. And to try to stop the game from becoming too easy, we're going to follow a few realism rules. One will be around career decisions. So if I'm starting at this club at £400 a week part time, I'm not going to go and take on a Belgian third division club at £600 a week. It just wouldn't make sense for any person to move up the whole family for that smaller salary. However, if I'm offered £5,000 a week after being on £400 a week, of course I'm going. You'd be mad not to. It would be a decision anyone would make. I'm going to try to keep rivalries out of it. I am a Gillingham fan, so even if Swindon come knocking, if the offer's right, if it's right for my career, then I'm going to say yes, please, and I'm going to kiss the badge. Um, we're also going to avoid things like player search, staff search, that sort of stuff. We'll use job adverts. Players that we recruit will be scouted, or the director of football will suggest them. But we're not going to just use the player search because that makes the game far, far too easy at times. So, who is the club that we're managing? Well, it's the club that's closest to me geographically, and you'll find that out in just a second. Here we are. Welling United hire Theobald. Welling United have today confirmed the appointment of Adam Theobald as the club's new manager. Eyebrows even have been raised in the world of football at the appointment of the inexperienced 39-year-old. This is the last Football Manager 24 save where I'm going to get to start as a 39-year-old. In my 30s. I will be 40 next time around. It's a sad, sad time. And he is sure to face plenty of questions when he faces the media for the first time at Parkview Road. He replaces previous manager Danny Blore. So Welling United is the club we're starting with. They're not a club that's had a great deal of glory recently. I think just avoiding relegation from the National League South over the last couple of seasons. So I think we're in for quite the challenge. Sorry for the abrupt cut there. Wife came wandering into the room. So let's carry on. We have joined Welling United. As you can see, reputation, 1 star. I mean, to be expected down at this level. Media prediction 15th. So I think we can hopefully do a bit better than that. No director of football. We've got an assistant manager, though, so that's great. Paul Whitehead is the chairperson, and he's welcoming us to welcoming us to the club. We finished 16th for last season, so slight improvement expected this season, but I'd like to go beyond that. They play at Parkview Road, a place I actually went to school near back in the day. Don't ask how many years ago that was. 4,500 capacity. It's quite an old. It's almost 100 years old. This stadium. Finances are okay. There is no transfer budget, and we have a wage budget of £7,000, which I think is probably quite competitive at this level. And let's see. Let's see first. Let's wait and see how much spare room there is to go in to the transfer market. Paul thinks we're best at a 4-2-3-1. That's a bit fancy for non-league, but we'll see. Who have we got here? We've got Abrahams. I think I know that man. Tristan Abrahams. Yes, he was on loan at Gillingham last season, or for the second part of last season. Dickinson's also an ex-Gills as well, so a couple of familiar faces for me there. And here's the important bit. What does the board expect us to do? So work within the wage budget. It's obvious at this level. There's not much money. You have to be careful. Grow the club's reputation. Absolutely fine. They expect us to finish mid-table. Perfectly easy. Perfectly reasonable objective. I'm not going to call it easy because we've not seen that squad yet. Be competitive in the FA Cup, be competitive in the FA Trophy. Basically, they don't matter. We just need to play in those games and we'll be fine. And in 5 years' time, they want us to win promotion to the National League. Well, if I've got anything to say about it, we'll try and do that just a little bit sooner. We are supporters here, so they expect to strive to make progress on and off the pitch. Low expectations from the supporters there. But they want the top half finish, so bit more pressure there, because if the fans have much sway over the board, then mid-table might not cut it. Be competitive against Dartford, local rivals in the National League South, and be competitive against Woking if we happen to play against them. Woking's not all that close to Welling, so I wonder what kind of rivalry that is. If you know, do let me know in the comments. And to finish with, do we want to? We'll do the intra squad friendly. We'll do the press conference, and once a month we'll be fine for backroom meetings. So Theobald takes charge at Welling, yada yada. Supporter profile. Obviously, this doesn't make much difference. Supporting's influence on the board is moderate, so I think we're going to have to look for that top half finish after all. 6.7 thousand social media followers. It's a big club. 260 season ticket holders. Well, huge club. And yeah, as we've seen, we've already seen the expectations. We're not in a position to be able to negotiate anything here. We're just at the club. We're absolutely unknown. So for those interested, we've gone for the Sunday League footballer. We've got National A license, which was just suggested for a club like Welling. And in terms of attributes, this isn't the sort of manager who can come in day one, start making demands. So we'll just accept what they've put in front of us. Last players in last year of contracts should be pretty much everyone in the club, I would imagine. Especially at this level, you don't get many club players beyond 12-month contracts. But what I have seen actually is Tristan Abrahams, who is probably the best player at the club, has only a contract up until the 1st of January. So that might be one we try to extend as soon as possible. And tactics. So before we go into creating a tactic, let's go and have a look at that squad and see whoa. That's quite a small squad. That is 17 players, 2 of whom are on loan. That's not going to cut it over a season. That's not going to cut it. Let's see if we've got anyone in the under 21s who's worthwhile. So we've got a couple of under 21s, but really no one who is first team level. Are you on loan for the under 21s? You are. You're on loan from Aldershot Town and you've been shoved straight into the under 21s. I mean, you've got 1.5 stars of ability, 3-star potential. No wonder you're not in the first team squad, but my goodness. Why would you get that player on loan? Right, okay. What we're going to do is we're going to take those top 4, shall we say, and we're going to put them in the first team squad for now, just to make up the numbers, just to give us a chance at seeing a squad. Now, so who are our best players? Goalkeeper. We're definitely going to play with one of those. That's not too sad. Next 2 best players are strikers, so screams a 2-striker formation. But looking down that squad list, there aren't many other options. So if we play 2 strikers, we've got no rotation option other than this Alex McAllister who's on loan, who I mean probably hasn't got the ability to play at this level already. So I mean acceleration of 4 is not really going anywhere in more ways than one. But we will look to. I think we're going for a 2-striker formation. So potentially a 5-3-2, maybe a 4-4-2. Diamond, perhaps. What have we got in terms of wingers? Okay, so we've got left back, defensive midfielder, right winger, centre back, left back. I mean, yeah, there are some good players at the club, but there's no depth whatsoever. There's not much of a midfield. In terms of wingers, we've got a couple who are, I mean, they're not great players. We probably don't build a club around, build a squad around them, and we don't build our formation around them, certainly. I'm thinking we might want wing back. I mean, he can play as a wing back. Are you a natural wing back? Yeah. Okay, so I think we're looking at a 5-man defence. You can play, yes, you're natural as a central midfielder as well. I think we're going for a 5-3-2 here. That's my gut feeling right now. You are a wide target forward. I don't like playing with wide target forwards. Don't see what they bring into it. I'd rather they cut in or something like that. Right. Okay, well, I think we're going with a 5-3-2. Yeah, it's obvious Gegenpress is being suggested. That's a bit fancy for this level. We're going to go wing play. So it's a wing play 5-3-2. Get it out to the two wing backs who are some of the best players at the squad, actually, at the club. So they should be up to the challenge. So we'll go with the wing play 5-3-2. 5-2-3. No, we've not got the wingers for that. So we're going to go with yeah, we'll go with that for now. We may end up moving the defensive midfielder into attacking midfield, depending on what excuse me, what options we have. But I think yeah, we'll go with the 5-3-2. Just that slightly. We're going to make that positive. Okay, and if we quick pick, what does that make our squad look like? So not much going on in defensive midfield there, but actually it looks okay elsewhere. We've got three solid centre backs there, good wing backs. Central midfielders could probably do with an upgrade, but the two attackers are the main ones that we're looking at here. You will be a pressing forward, I think, and you be a poacher. There we go. That looks nice. Okay, so think we've roughly, we'll fiddle around with the player roles in a bit, but I think we've got the starting of a formation there. Wonder what else we could potentially do with this club. Right. I also thought about, didn't I, 4-4-2 diamond, but have we got anyone who is an attacking midfielder? Not obviously Sanya can play there, White can play there, but really not a lot going on. Again, one of these youngsters who's actually out of contract. Oh, okay, that's a lot. £300 per appearance for someone who potentially might at their best get to a standard for this league. I think we knock the idea of a 4-4-2 diamond on the head. What else can we look at? Are there any four man four sorry back four formations? I'm really struggling to speak here. Back four formations that suit us 4-4-2 potentially, but again we lack anything on the wings. 4-3-3. We haven't got the wingers for this kind of formation. Do we have anything that suits? I mean, maybe the 4-2-3-1 is the way to go. If we can bring in at least one winger on the left, we've got a couple of right wingers who could potentially do a job, but we've really not got anyone who is going to excel out on that left wing. So perhaps that's our backup formation. We'll play the wing play, and I think we want that attacking midfielder on attack to get them forward, supporting probably a target man, get it into a big man. But outside of that, we are going to struggle for options here. We're probably going to have to delve into that transfer market a fair old bit. So come back to, we'll leave the training to, leave the training, I think, to our assistant manager because that's the way I prefer to do things. So looking at staff, then we have 6 coaches and we're only allowed 2. Well, this is quite the setup we've got here. So we're probably going to have to look to get rid of a couple of our coaching staff. We have absolutely no one in the recruitment team, and that's going to be key. We're going to need people who can find us players who can play in positions that we need them to play in. I mean, by the end of this transfer window, there's every chance we move away from the 5 defender formation based on what we can bring in. But first, let's get some adverts out for people to fill these key positions. No medical staff either, so no physios at the club. I'm surprised the entire squad isn't injured already. So we'll get those done, and we're gonna fast forward and see where we go soon. Well, I've just seen something I don't think I've ever seen before in Football Manager. We have a head of youth development who is also a director as his second job, and we can't do anything with his contract. So we can't offer him a new one. We can't sack him. He is. I mean, I don't know whether he's just picked his own job. He's just walked into the club and said, "Look, I'm a director. I'm picking my job. I want to be head of youth development." There doesn't seem to be anything we can do about it at all. He looks all right at the job for this level. I mean, judging a player ability and player potential of 5 probably isn't amazing, but for the National League South, it will be passable. I do see that the contract expires at the end of this season, so I'm hoping that we'll be able to make a change there. But I don't know whether he'll just walk out once his contract's up, or whether, as director, he'll decide to give himself a big pay rise and keep himself in that post. It's the first time I've ever seen such a thing. We have also found a couple of coaches who are on non-contracts, so we're kicking them out straight away to try and cut down the number of staff. But I just thought I had to share that. I've never seen a director give themselves a job of head of youth development or any other role in the game before. What is going on at this club? And finances, I mean, that's the all important bit. How much money have we got to spend on trying to turn this around? Well, the answer is not a lot. We've got no transfer budget at all, and we've got a wage budget of 7,000. We are already spending 6,700, so we've got about £300 of spare wage budget. That's not going to be a lot to bring in a bit more depth in the attack, and some extra strength in the midfield, because I think we look a little bit weak there. We also have no left wingers, but that might not be a priority. We may have to focus on that 5-3-2, and potentially let Lewis White fill in occasionally where we need. If we do need to go to a 4-2-3-1 or some kind of formation with wingers. But I think what we'll also do is have a look at some of these guys on non-contract. So we've got Lucky Bird here, who's on a non-contract with an appearance fee of £150, because that does go towards your wage calculations. And we've got Enoch Mwonge, who is, I mean, good, looks like a potential for the future kind of player, but with a £300 appearance fee, is eating up our wage budget. So I think we probably will make that decision shortly, but I think we might have to go through and release him on a free. We've also got a few non-contract players here. They are, I mean, their appearance fees seem a little bit more reasonable, but we might just ditch them anyway, especially someone like this player who has really not got the potential to ever make it in this league, let alone the leagues below. So I think we probably look to release some of them in the youth squad. We've got 3 under 18s, so hopefully they're not actually in any kind of competition. We are in a competition. Okay, our under 18s are going to struggle, but that's fine. We're not here to build a youth club. We're not here to take Welling United to the very top. We're just here to do what we need to do in the short term to get ourselves a better job and move our career forward. So yeah, I think we are going to be looking. Let's have a look at the squad planner, shall we? Now we've got a formation in place. We can see the depth a little bit more easily. We've got 2 goalkeepers of good quality, actually. Lee Morgan here, who is also the goalkeeping coach. He's 39 years old. He will be an adequate backup if we should need him for our on loan goalkeeper Ben Winterbottom, who's on loan from Brentford. So it's quite the coup, I'd say, for this level. We have 5 centre backs. We've got a couple of right wing backs. Not much depth. I mean, we've got a good first choice, but not much beyond there. Defensive midfield, our best choice is also our best right wing back. 1 left wing back. Midfielders, again, TJ Bramble, who is almost certainly going to be our starting right wing back, is our best midfielder as well. We do have 7 midfielders. We've got depth, just not a lot of strength in that depth, and then just the 3 strikers. So I think we need to focus on the left wing back. We need to focus on another striker, and if at all possible, getting some better players in the centre of midfield. But first, we need our scouts in. So we're going to fast forward until we get some scouts in and see if we can do a bit of business. Well, good news and bad news so far. We have actually managed to hire some staff. We've now got a full recruitment team. We've got our 2 physios in place. We are pretty much set for staffing, but transfers have been hard. We've brought in, you'll see, we've brought in a lot of trials, and so far we haven't signed a single player. We are still struggling to find that backup left wing back. We're still struggling to find someone who can strengthen our midfield. And all of the offers we do make, players who end up going elsewhere, probably for more money or better league position, better league, I think we've lost a few players to National League teams, for example. We're still struggling to find someone. It's 31st of July, and we are just a week away, or less than a week away, from our first National League South match against Truro City. We're going to keep trying, but my goodness, this is proving to be tough. We are scouting for, centre back now. We have actually managed to move a few players out of the club, actually, just to update you on the financial situation. We've got about £1,200 to play with in the budget. So that should be good enough for 3 or 4 decent players to come in and really strengthen the squad. But it's finding them. It's absolutely brutal. We've set up a few recruitment focuses, so we're looking for centre backs, we're looking for left wing back midfielders, either central midfield or defensive midfield or strikers. And at the moment, the scouts haven't been here long enough really to bed in and find us players, but I'm beginning to worry that we're going into a season completely unprepared as a squad. We still only have, I think, 17 players on the books. So, well, this could be quite tough. We've got 1 week to turn this transfer window around. I say transfer window, it's not really a transfer window in National League South. No such a thing exists. But it would be nice to get up and running with a half-decent squad. But with less than 5 days to go, it's not looking great. We have Truro City, and then we've got Hemel Hempstead. We've got 5-6 games there in August. I'd quite like our squad to be complete no later than that sort of 4th, maybe 5th game. So I think loan market is probably where we're going to find a little bit of joy. We'll look for some decent loans to see if we can bring in someone who can actually strengthen our squad in at least one of those positions. It's proving to be a tough one. Well, we've spent the week really, really trying to bring some players into the club, and to not much joy. We currently have a squad of about 18 players, maybe 19. I think we've got 15 players who are here permanently, if I remember rightly. Yeah, we've got 15 players here permanently, and then we've got 4 loans. We did actually manage to bring in another loan. We, as I said, we managed to free up a transfer, but wage budget rather, by getting Taylor Curran, who was on £500 a week. He was the second highest paid player and was probably our 4th or 5th choice centre back. So quite happy to see him go on a free to free up that wage budget. And Kane Adom, who is a right winger who doesn't really have a part to play in the formation we've got here. He is out at Uxbridge, who are paying his entire salary, his £200 per week, which means we have that £1,200 to play with. However, we've not really managed to bring anyone in. Like I said, we've got Ben Winterbottom, who is already here. Adam Roscoe is already here, and Alex McAllister. We did bring in this young left wing back from Leyton Orient. He's a free loan, so we took a bit of a punt. Turns out the scouts weren't quite up to where I was hoping they would be. He's only got 1.5 stars of current ability, 4 stars of potential, but provides some cover at least for that left wing back position. Squad plan has got awful lot of trial players in there, so isn't that helpful for us at the moment? We have so many players on trial at the moment. We're desperately trying to sign someone who can, or who will accept our offer over everybody else's. But every time we put an offer in, everybody else does as well. We've just got 2 to compete there for Christian Norton, who's one of those players. Actually, let's have a look at the transfers in that we're trying to make. So, Brandon Bryan Wall, he is centre back, 6'1", 18 years old, bags of potential, but everybody else wants him as well. And why would you choose Welling over the chance to go to Oldham or Montrose, who are in much higher leagues? And then we've got, let's get back to the transfer screen, Oscar Goburn, 32-year-old defensive midfielder who would be a perfect player to sit in that hole. But is he going to pick us over Rochdale, Oxford or Oldham? I sincerely doubt it. We've also got, who else are we trying to get in? It is Christian Norton was the one we looked at earlier. So we have got players who we are identifying, and as soon as we try to pounce on them, they're just not joining. We had tried to bring in a bunch of potential loanees on trial, but unfortunately, their parent clubs wouldn't allow them. So we either take a punt on them and hope that they don't end up being the disappointment that Quachi so far, just based on stars. Don't worry, we will give him a chance, but just based on stars, has turned out to be a little bit disappointing. But we'll keep on trying. Well, if you've enjoyed the misery I've been through in this transfer window so far, please do leave a like, maybe even subscribe and turn on notifications so when part two comes and we are going to play a couple of matches, I think, in the next video, we'll probably do our first two with Truro and Hemel Hempstead and we'll see how we get on. So leave a like, do subscribe, and I will see you on the next one. Bye.